A lot of the stuff that people are pushing is not worth the money. It's not worth it.
And just remember, are they trying to make money off of you, or
Right.
are they really trying to help you?
Right. Yes. I could sell you 10 different peptides.
A lot of times I'll tell my patients sometimes something isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
Like, it just depends. Like, I'll always tell you the truth. Like, yes, you could do such and such, but I'm not going to do anything that I don't think is going to move the needle for you. And
Well, most people won't.
And financially, sometimes you got to choose. Do I do this or do I do that? And that's when I'm considering your goals and your budget as well.
I think the nuance of what we just talked about is biggest bang for your buck is the stuff we talked about.
Right. You want to do, there again, just because you can take all the stuff doesn't mean you should. You want to do the least amount as possible. It doesn't mean you just want to throw all these things in your body at one whack.
I'm trying to save you money. Because, you can go spend like $2,000 on peptides and take everything, and you're going to look exactly the same and feel exactly the same because you got sold a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
So, we're just trying to look out for people because people ask about it. Patients ask about it.
Sorry.
It's a hot subject right now. And so, we kind of do a disservice if we don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want to push it because I don't care, like, if you do it or not. I just want you to do what's best for you and make an informed decision. And if you do happen to be my patient and you want them, of course I'll talk to you about it and I'll try to help you. But I'm not going to try to sell you on it.
Right.
Hey, I'm Jessica, and I'm the owner of OptimLife Health in Dallas, and this is my husband, Bradley Goins. I was like, I didn't say my last name, did I? Anyway.
You better be Goins.
Owner of Goins Strong Fitness in Dallas and Cherville. Today we're going to talk about peptides and that area of things because you see it online all the time, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. In my clinic, I have patients asking me about peptides. I don't advertise it on the website. That I just don't. You can ask me and I'll tell you. But we're going to talk about some of those and which ones are worth it, which ones are more hype or maybe a waste of your money. Just depends. We'll just kind of talk about them.
Many of them are
Okay.
a waste, and some of them have benefits.
He has a lot to say about this.
I have a lot.
So
That's a lot. I have a lot to say about that.
I'm going to try to keep him on track. And we'll
Sorry.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you had on your list first GLPs. You want to start there?
Yeah. Well, GLPs. I mean that. You have opinions on that.
I mean, I do. I'm so sorry for being young.
So GLPs, generically speaking, we say GLPs. It's not really GLPs. You have GLP aspect, you have the GIP aspect, and then you have the ghrelin, so there's different mechanisms. GLP is just a generic term.
Yeah, broad.
That's applied really to Wegovy and what's the other name brand? Wegovy and
Mounjaro.
No, that's test.
Well, you got Wegovy.
Ozempic and Wegovy are semaglutide.
Yes, and then you have Mounjaro and Zepbound,
which is
Tirzepatide.
Tirzepatide, which is the GIP agonist as well.
Right.
So, without being too boring, you have one mechanism of action on Wegovy and.
Can we just call it semaglutide?
Semaglutide.
I don't messing with brand names.
Yeah, semaglutide is.
We're just going to go semaglutide for
the
Wegovy
peptide generic.
Ozempic.
Yep, the generic. So you basically right now the big three that people talk about, that you hear about, that you probably see an Instagram video about is
semaglutide, Tirzepatide,
Retatrutide. Okay, right?
Okay.
So semaglutide is a GLP-1.
Just a GLP, meaning it's slowing down your, delaying your gastric emptying. You're going to feel a little more full sooner. It really can help some people with food noise, cravings. Gosh, I've even seen alcohol craving reduction.
And that's because you have GLP receptors in your brain, and so it does have an effect.
Helps you release more insulin.
Yes.
But it's not working on your insulin sensitivity the way Tirzepatide is, with it being working on the GIP pathway as well as GLP. So a lot of times people are like, "Ooh, Tirzepatide's better." I'm just going to tell you something. It's going to be patient dependent because what works for one patient may make another patient sick as a dog, or they may not feel like they even took it, and you're just like,
really?
Wow.
So wow.
It's like, wow, you didn't feel a thing. So it's mind-blowing, truly, the different responses that I've seen in patients,
I agree. It's almost nuts in some cases. somebody gets so sick from the starting dose that they can't take it, and then somebody else is like, I don't feel anything on half of the high doses.
I've even seen in a rare occurrence, like where semaglutide made a couple patients where they just didn't have a desire to do anything. So it was like, it didn't only shut down their food noise, it shut down their interest, and it was like, oh, this isn't for you. Okay. You cannot live your life dull and not want to participate in activities.
But that's where it's important to have somebody working with you and not doing this stuff on your own from some compound you just bought online or from your friend. Right. You don't know how to dose it properly.
But we should say,
but anyway,
Retatrutide is not FDA approved.
Correct.
So like, you can't get a prescription for that. And the only reason that I'm going to talk about it as a medical provider is because my patients are talking about it. They're out there buying it or whatever. So that one is still in clinical trials. It's very promising.
Right.
All that.
Right. Yeah. But we're just speaking about the facts about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it has the GLP portion, not as strong as semaglutide and tirzepatide. For some people, it still helps with food noise, very much so. Some people it doesn't. It still has the GIP component where it's improving that insulin sensitivity, and it also works on the glucagon receptors in your body, and that is seen to reduce inflammation. And it also raises your basal metabolic rate and helps you oxidize fat. So
a little better.
Yeah, a little bit better. So
not the way some people talk about on Instagram.
People do hype it up a lot, but you keep your protein high with any of them.
Yep.
You exercise, you do the things you should be doing. It is a great tool.
But that's always the case.
So that's really all I want to say about GLPs. We've done other videos on that. If you want to go back and look at that, that's all we want to say. There's so many peptides.
But they are great. They're a great tool. I think that's what we want to talk about too. Is like what's worth it.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So there's so many other things. Each one of these things that we're going to talk about, I used to do it too. I used to think, what can I take? What can I do to be able to eat how I want, but look like I have lean muscle? There isn't something magic, right? Mm-hmm. The GLP is the thing that helps the most because of the reduction in food noise and things like that, right?
Right.
But there's not one thing that you can take where everything is going to do the work for you. You have to put in the work. You have to eat right. You have to make good decisions when you're out, when you don't want to make good decisions, and you need to move your body. So if you can't do those things, then this list of things that we're going to talk about aren't going to really move the needle for you the way you want to, because there's no magic fix, because if there was, everybody would be doing it.
But I think, what you're saying is peptides, and let's call it what they are. They're PEDs. Okay, so if you're taking peptides and you make fun of like pro bodybuilders for taking steroids or PEDs, or your pro athletes back in the day, he's took PEDs and he's smashing home runs. Mark McGwire and those guys. He
still had to put the work in.
He still had to hit the ball.
He still had to have the talent.
Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds still had to hit the ball to smash it over the outfield fence.
Yes.
Okay. So everybody wants to attack these guys. Everybody else in Lance Armstrong winning 7 Tour de France's, everybody else in bike that was racing him was also taking PEDs. The cream always rises to the top.
That's right.
So, but just understand that if you're taking peptides, they are technically PEDs if they're the effective ones that are worthwhile. They're like GLPs are helping you with food noise. That's a performance enhancing drug.
Yes.
It's helping you overcome something that you're lacking. Right. So people, we just need to call it what. There's nothing wrong with PEDs. You should want to increase your performance.
As long as you're doing what you should, and you're using whatever it is as a tool.
Strategically and
not
smart.
A crutch,
right.
Or just
if
so you can blast something to blast it.
Right. So if you're taking the highest dose GLP and smashing your hunger cravings and not eating, you will lose weight. But is that the responsible way to do it? No.
And it's not sustainable. You cannot come off the drug because you will gain it back because you're not building good habits.
And it can put you in the hospital.
I stress to my patients the importance of doing the lowest effective dose. So that way we can come off of it. We've got to build the good habits. If you're not eating and you're not getting your nutrition in, I'm losing.
Everything should be lowest effective dose.
Yep.
If you take Tylenol, Every drug you put in your body should be lowest effective dose. More is not better. It should be, what is the minimum amount I can take?
Right.
Right? Just because my doctor said take this much pain medication after surgery, I ain't taking that.
Right.
I'll take half.
Right.
Do I get enough pain relief? Cool. I'm not taking the whole thing. So anyway.
Go off GLPs.
Off GLPs.
What do you want to go to? I kind of, well, do you want to start with like the growth hormone aspect, or do you want to start with inflammation? Because we'll go back to both. I just don't want to take forever.
Well, it's like which one's on people. Everybody wants to talk about all this stuff. So you got so after you've got your diet in check, maybe you're using a GLP, you got your diet good, you're doing some exercise. A lot of times people, as you get older, you're worried about your growth hormone.
You're trying to maximize
your performance and recovery,
your muscle growth, and one way to do that is something that can help increase your growth hormone, and it can help with sleep too. So you're going to recover while you're sleeping. So talk about Sermorelin first.
So generally, if we're going to talk about growth hormone secretagogues, because there's a big one, the ones everybody always talk about, nobody wants to talk about Sermorelin.
They want to talk about ipamorelin and tesamorelin.
And I don't know why, because Sermorelin's actually FDA approved. Sermorelin actually has FDA approval. So it has legitimate, for GH deficiency, it's the only one. Sermorelin is the only one that has FDA approval for a GH deficiency. So why people don't turn to that one, I don't know.
I don't understand it. And it's cost effective.
It's the most cost effective. And it actually works.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I think can legitimately be prescribed without much consternation. I mean, it's like, it's
What
not
word did you use?
consternation. I made up a big word.
Is it a real word?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Consternation. I mean,
Anyway, so I'm so sorry you caught me off guard.
Pull
really
out a
bad.
dictionary. Sorry. Words
Pull out
pop
the
into my head,
dictionary.
guys. Okay. Words pop into my head. I'm not trying to be,
No, I invent words.
I'm not trying to be a big. I'm not trying to be a big talker. I might have just made up a Bushism. George Bush used to make up words. He was cool. I liked him.
Anyway.
He's a very endearing person. Anyway.
He's endearing.
Anyway,
endearing.
but Sermorelin has FDA approval.
We see it work.
Ipamorelin, though it might be effective, I don't think they're so the big ones are Sermorelin, Ipamorelin, Tesamorelin. Those are the ones that they get pushed a lot. Well, Tesamorelin's expensive as hell.
Yes.
Tesamorelin is not necessarily more effective than Sermorelin dose per dose. You have to dose Tesamorelin at a higher dose. So when you do the math on how much it costs per dose, like you're going to go through a 10 milligram vial that costs you $100 in 10 days.
Yeah,
you go spend $300 a month on that when you could spend.
So think about are you doing what you should be? Think about your goals, what you're wanting to get out of it, because therefore, if it's not cost effective for you, but you're just taking it to see.
So
that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like you need a goal.
I think
what are you doing it for?
And I think from a medical perspective, the responsible thing, if somebody says, hey, if I want to take a growth hormone secretagogue, which one would be the safest? Which one has the biggest track record? Which one actually has approvals?
I'm going to go with Sermorelin.
Sermorelin. Nobody else is going to tell you this, but that's the one. I'm not selling you.
Combos, CJC, Tesamorelin, Ipamorelin blends. I'm not saying blends don't work. The only blend that I'll do is one for inflammation. We're not going to talk about that right this second. We'll do that in a minute.
Right. But I think another key point too is people want to take Tesamorelin because everybody selling it online says that it burns more visceral fat than the other ones. Well, that's not necessarily true. It was studied for HIV lipodystrophy, which was, and they found that it did burn visceral fat in those patients in those trials. All growth hormone secretagogues will help you target visceral fat to some degree. Right. Dose for dose, Tesamorelin is not special. It's just a very expensive secretagogue, and I think it's overrated.
I do think it's overrated.
So I'm just going to share that. If you're out there buying that, just switch to Sermorelin, save the money. You're still going to get the benefit. If you're going to do it, take it at night, about an hour before bed, to help you induce a deeper sleep, or more recovery.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The benefit is going to come from that better sleep quality.
That's right.
And then you wake up feeling more refreshed, and then you have this snowball effect where you just feel better because you slept better. Anything to get better sleep is going to make you feel better. So that's the real benefit of like a secretagogue. Do you need a secretagogue? No. If you can get good sleep, you're probably going to be okay without it, but it does have some marginal.
It's not a have to. It's something that you.
It's an
could
add-on.
do.
It's an add-on after you've already got yourself hormonally optimized and your whole body.
It's not something to just go, oh, gee, let me see.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna, like if you're still eating 4,000 calories a day, taking a growth hormone secretagogue ain't gonna help you burn visceral fat. You're still gonna gain weight.
Yeah.
If that was, teenagers would be, they have high growth hormone. Teenagers are overweight. A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
I've seen elementary
Right.
kids overweight.
A lot of kids are overweight now.
Let's don't get
So
back on that.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to go inflammation route or do you want to go like MOTS-C? What do you want to do?
Let's go inflammation first because then I want to talk about the stuff that works because
Okay.
the stuff that works is the secretagogues, which
Right.
Sermorelin I think is the best.
Right.
That GH secretagogues, the growth hormone secretagogues. And then for inflammation, we're talking about the common ones.
You have BPC 157,
Right.
TB 500,
Right.
and then you have Glow, which combines those two and a copper peptide. Now you can buy a copper peptide separately. You can buy all of them separately, but to be honest with you, in practice, what we provide, it makes more sense for us to do the combination, which is Glow, because you get fully dosed BPC 157 and fully dosed TB 500 and the fully dosed copper peptide all in one. So the TB 500 and the BPC 157, both of those are good for systemic inflammation, right? That's like the biggest thing that you're going to notice.
Right.
The copper peptide helps with like healing,
Collagen production.
collagen production. So you
So
combine
that's
those three.
tendon health,
Yeah,
healing and recovery.
It's really wonderful, but some people want to take them singularly, and that's fine.
But again, you can't just take these things by themselves in a vacuum and expect healing,
No.
right? If you don't sleep, you're not going to recover. If you don't eat well and feed your body the nutrition, the protein, everything it needs to rebuild,
Yeah.
take a multivitamin, these things, you're not going to get the benefit. So it's really a tool to help promote faster healing in certain cases.
I want to point out the reason why I say you can do BPC 157 singular, you can do TB 500 singular. That's fine. Some people may prefer that. The only reason that I say Glow is because if you're getting it from a legit place, Glow is usually only just a little bit more on price, but you get 3 things in it, and it's usually more dose.
And they work.
So when I'm looking at stuff for patients, I'm not just looking at which peptide does what. I'm also thinking about cost effectiveness, what your goals are, and all that. So I'm just saying Glow in some cases is economically and more well-rounded to buy like
and
that.
they have a synergistic effect.
Yes.
So, they all work in slightly different ways in the body, but they work together so that you're going to get a better, because of the copper peptide part of it is going to help promote more collagen production.
Yeah.
If you're taking like a Sermorelin like we just talked about, a higher growth hormone level, like when you're younger, you have more collagen, right? As you get older, you start losing collagen, your face starts to sag. And that's the benefit. So those are things that boost collagen. But collagen is not just your face. People think about beauty, and that's why it's called Glow.
Right.
It's called Glow because of beauty, like collagen in the face. And med spas will push it and all that stuff, right? It does have some benefit. But it's not a miracle. It ain't like you take it for a month and my face, whoo, like no, you want that, go spend $1,000 for a laser treatment. It's going to get much better results. I mean, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So we've seen it. But Glow is, and you're not going to feel Glow working. It's just going to be like you wake up one day and like if you took it for and you might have to take it for 3 months. You can't. I've seen people say, I want to take it for an injury.
But a lot of times it helps though.
It can help with the inflammation immediately. It can.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But
I've had patients have results fast, it's ridiculous.
If it's mostly a minor inflammation issue and it tamps down the inflammation, then yes, it will have some benefit. If you've got a torn rotator cuff that you've had for 5, 10, 15 years, no,
it may not touch that.
It may not touch that.
There's things that
and if it was going to touch it, you've had it for how long? It's not going to fix it in 90 days. I'm sorry.
Right.
Now, if you got some tennis elbow,
Yeah.
I've had tennis elbow from training. Well, I don't have these knick-knack injuries from my training anymore.
Right.
I noticed that I just don't have those little minor.
You train smarter.
I train smarter, but I don't get the tendonitis. I think that the boost in the collagen production, it's the little things like that. But you're not going to like take it and be like, oh man, I feel like I'm just Superman. That's not how it's going to work.
Okay, let's don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
Let's talk about MOTC, and because then we'll just tie it up at the end.
So
I got an idea.
Yeah, that's fine. So everything we've already talked about is the stuff that I would personally recommend, based on experience.
Yes.
I have taken MOTC. It probably has some benefit. I just don't think it really has that much benefit.
I mean, if you're going to spend the money on something, you want to spend it on things that are going to work.
They're pushing it as this, like, raising your metabolic rate, mitochondrial function, like it's going to create your body into some fat-burning machine. It's just not how it's going to work. It's just not going to work that way. Maybe it has some marginal benefit, but it's like, how much money do you want to spend? If you want to spend all the money in the world, buy whatever you want. It's your money. You do it. You use it when you need it. What's that?
J.G. Wentworth.
J.G. Wentworth.
It's my money, and I want it now.
I want it now. You can spend it however you want. I don't care. I just don't see a major benefit of it. Maybe in very selective scenarios, like a bodybuilder at the very end of a show, and if there is some mitochondrial function to it and you're really beat down, maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't, beyond that, I just don't think it's a long-term thing. It would be very strategic use. So I'm not a big believer in MOTC yet. Subject to change.
Yeah, subject to change.
I spend my money wisely.
Yeah.
Selectively.
I mean, there's so many out there. Those are the ones, like if you came to me and you said, okay, something for inflammation, I would say BPC 157, TB 500, either one, or Glow. It depends. And then for the secretagogue, I would say, like, you want to increase your growth hormone, help with your sleep, your recovery, all that. I would say cerebromelin because of its proven track record. The GLPs, like I said, that's a whole other thing. Definitely, any of them can be used correctly will work.
Right.
But just
lowest effective dose.
Yeah, just remember, consider, like he was saying, what your goal is. First of all, are you doing those things at baseline that would even help you? Is the cost per dose worth it, right? Or is this just some hype? Is somebody just trying to make money off you because they're saying use code Jessica10 or whatever because they're a trainer and they're pushing it, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
I could make a lot of money selling peptides if I wanted to.
Nobody's promoting,
I'm not promoting it like that. I'm going to tell you what works. I'm not going to sell you something that ain't working.
Yeah.
I'm not even selling it. I'm not selling you.
That's the thing.
I'm not like, I don't have like some.
And ask me, but I'm never going to push it on anyone and say, oh, well, so no. But they are wonderful tools when used correctly. Some of them, like testosterone, we said is mostly height, whatever. But
we talked about NAD, but that's not really a peptide per se.
We didn't even talk about that.
We mentioned it before the.
Yeah,
before.
We'll mention that one to close out.
So we'll just mention NAD because NAD is something that a lot of med spas or whatever will use. We put them in an IV. So I do believe that NAD has benefit.
Oh, for sure.
NAD has benefit. I do.
Mitochondrial function.
I do take
cellular repair.
Yep. I do take
health,
NAD.
Like energy.
It's technically not a peptide.
Yeah.
And we do sell NAD. So I mean, we do have it in IVs. That's pretty common.
You can take it home and inject it.
Yeah. So you have kits.
You want to inject NAD. You don't want to do NAD orally. You want to do injectable.
Yeah,
NAD
you
plus.
can take NMN with it. I think it's good if you.
NMN orally actually is okay, but NAD orally is not.
Right.
I'm just saying, NAD is like not really beneficial orally, but NMN can help.
It's a precursor.
With your NAD levels.
It's a precursor.
There's nuance to it, of course.
Right.
But we're just saying you could do that. Any of these,
but it's technically a coenzyme. It's not technically a peptide. It is often touted as a peptide, but for the purposes of this video, it's basically an injectable peptide.
Yeah, so these are, so what we're talking about, if you don't know anything about these and you made it this far in this video, they're all injectable, so you have to be willing to stick yourself with a 31 gauge insulin needle is the most comfortable. And I do want to say one cool thing about the Glow or the BPC 157 or TB 500 is that You can just stick that in the subcutaneous tissue, that's your fat tissue of your stomach or your glute, whatever, because it's going to provide a systemic effect. But what's also really cool about them is if you did have an injury, you could put it close to that site. So
localized.
let's say that it's your knee, you could put it kind of in your quad toward that area, wherever, pinch it up near your knee. You could do your shoulder.
If your
it's
shoulder.
pretty cool. I've seen a lot of wonderful things with those. So that's all I really got to say.
Yeah, no, I think.
Oh, well, no, just say. Well, go ahead. I'll let you. Well, if I say something, you'll just say something.
No, go ahead. No,
I'll
go
say
ahead.
mine and let him close because I know how he does.
Go ahead.
Make sure you're getting it from somewhere reputable. Make sure you're doing your research on it and just not believing whoever who's trying to make money off of you. Do your homework. Buy it from a medical person. Yeah.
There are some legitimate sources, and it's, with the FDA changes coming down the pike right now, it's going to there's going to be more options with a lot of these peptides. You could be able, because you used to be able to get them from like full on, like all the compounding pharmacies carried BPC 157.
Yeah.
Now it's more limited because they're scared to kind of compound because they don't know if they're going to like get hit with whatever. So, but more or less the point is, like you said, reputable, not your friend, not some rando on the internet. Like there are places, and that's harder to find. It's just the landscape is tough. The landscape is tough on that. I'll just leave it there on that. But a lot of the stuff that people are pushing is not worth the money. It's not worth it.
And just remember, are they trying to make money off of you, or
Right.
are they really trying to help you?
Right. Yes. I could sell you 10 different peptides.
A lot of times I'll tell my patients sometimes something isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
It just depends. Like, I'll always tell you the truth. Like, yes, you could do such and such, but I'm not going to do anything that I don't think is going to move the needle for you. And
Well, most people won't.
And financially, sometimes you got to choose. Do I do this or do I do that? And that's when I'm considering your goals and your budget as well.
I think the nuance of what we just talked about is biggest bang for your buck is the stuff we talked about. I think everything else, there might be a selective use, like there's like DSIP, deep sleep inducing peptide. I tried that one. It worked maybe for a couple of days, and then like I didn't notice any difference in my sleep. Like there's all these other ones. I just don't see the benefit of many of them, okay? And it's a changing landscape. It can change, but right now I want better recovery. That's where the glow comes in. That's going to help me with my inflammation.
Yes.
Better recovery. I want like maybe a secretagogue, right? On top of like being hormonally optimized and optimizing my body, making sure my sleep is optimized, and when I put all that together, I don't need all this other stuff.
Right. You want to do, there again, just because you can take all the stuff doesn't mean you should. You want to do the least amount as possible. It doesn't mean you just want to throw all these things in your body at one whack.
I'm trying to save you money. Because, you can go spend like $2,000 on peptides and take everything, and you're going to look exactly the same and feel exactly the same because you got sold a bunch of crap. Yeah. So, we're just trying to look out for people because people ask about it. Patients ask about it. Sorry. It's a hot subject right now. And so, we're kind of doing a disservice if we don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want to push it because I don't care, like, if you do it or not. I just want you to do what's best for you and make an informed decision. And if you do happen to be my patient and you want them, of course I'll talk to you about it and I'll try to help you. But I'm not going to try to sell you on it.
Right. We're not going to she's not going to tell you you're crazy for wanting to take control of your health. I mean, and I think that's what people want to find a way to get healthier and they want to do these things. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think, like I said, back to the performance enhancing aspect. Everybody wants to enhance their performance. They do. I mean, but you got to be smart about it and not like everybody's just kind of out there just trying to make a buck right now on peptides or all this information online. They're pushing this. You need to take this. You need to take that. Like, no.
You don't need to take anything.
You don't need to take anything.
You need to correct your diet and your movement and sleep, and we'll die on that hill.
You need to take your car to the farmer's market and get some quality meat. Not farmer's market. You just eat good whole food diet, get good recovery, get sleep, get exercise. Start there. If you're older and you need hormonal optimization, maybe there's something to be done there. That's a choice. Peptides would be like an add-on at the end after you have perfected all the other stuff.
So if you have more questions on it and you're local to us, you can reach out, whatever. He's at the gym all the time. I'm at the office all the time.
I'm also up here sometimes.
But I'm not one of the people that say DM me. Don't. My preferred route is email. I get too many. I'm not even like on Messenger and Instagram like that. I can't be available on all platforms.
Too busy.
So if you truly have questions, please call my office or email me, or you can use the website, like the contact, whatever. Please don't DM me. I'm not one of those people going DM for more information. That's not me.
If you want to make an appointment, you call the office and you talk to Mandy, and she'll get you set up.
Yes. So we'll see you next time.